Chamberlain, where I guess that's on the one hand. On the other hand is that we just have to keep doing what we have to do, right? The economy is definitely not smiling.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, you know, trying to change some of this narrative and how we conduct ourselves around scenarios like this, it's something that really needs to be addressed. And so Honorable Jerry Damara is here with us in the studios. He is the Chairman, CEO of Mesotho Group Limited. He's also public policy analyst. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much, Chamberlain.
You deal with
Thank you, Malpe.
Yeah, you deal with groups of people when you're doing several things, including construction. So perhaps understanding the mindset of, you know, the crowd may also be of importance to ensure that we get things right. So for you, if we could just get your response to this before we move on, what do you think should be key in terms of either what we need to do or how we need to pass messages across to people to ensure that they understand, notwithstanding the circumstances that we're all faced with, they understand that their life is, if not more valuable than whatever it is that may be occupying their mind at that point in time?
Yes, Chamberlain, I would like to add up to this. Let me talk about myself. Most of the things that, you know, is very, very outstanding in my life, I got the orientation when I was in school. So if we can take these values to the teachers, to give this orientation right from the background of schools, that's from primary school to secondary school, even up to university, that will go very, very far. Because that's the only area where you can find people and get them to their mind, and you can now put something on their head and they will grow up with it. But if you say it's only television, or are you going to the market and start using microphone? You see, there are institutions where you can pass this message and it will be of a very, very important, you know, it will be very, very useful to them. Apart from schools, you can use the religion institutions like the church and the mosque. If the religion leaders are ready to help, you can use that avenue to pass these messages.
Even if they are hungry?
Hungry?
If people are hungry, they feel, look, this is my meal ticket here, let me go for it. Would they remember the messages that might have been told them?
Chamberlain, let me tell you, we are in a hard situation, I know. But definitely you know that, you see, there are instances you don't take this risk of neglecting values. Is it because you are hungry, so you just take yourself, you know, to the street to go and kill yourself to die?
But in this incident, I mean, I've been trying to picture it. We understand that this accident or this crash, as Ayo says, occurred at night. And, you know, I'm just wondering, at that point, who would have taken leadership to say, you know what, nobody should come close to this tanker? You know, somebody needs to have taken the initiative to actually, you know, appeal to people and make sure that nobody goes close to that tanker. From your own dealings with communities, who do you think would have taken leadership at that point? Because sometimes all it takes is one person to start scooping, and that person will say, oh, this person is doing it, nothing is happening, and before you know what's happening, that's when the fire occurs. But if leadership could have come in maybe early on and, you know, shown example or, you know, told the people what to do, maybe this could have been averted. From your own dealings with communities, what level of leadership do you think needs to have come in to have prevented a disaster like this?
It's very unfortunate, Mark, that this happened. And I agree with you, that Nigerians are very hungry. And because they think they will take advantage of that tank and get petrol to go and sell and survive, they didn't even reason that this is a very, very dangerous, you know, risk they are taking. Because petrol with light, you know, anything can happen at any time. Unfortunately, it happened in a village. And you said people are sleeping. And they just wake up, they think they found a source of income by taking their buckets, taking their jugs to go and fetch these petrol products. But like I said, sensitization, we should not just hand it over to the government or leave it with National Orientation Agency. This, the nearest medium to send this information to the locals is the churches and the mosques and schools. If we can help ourselves to sensitize this to our people, I think it will go a long way. Not minding the fact that, yes, we are hungry. It doesn't mean that you are hungry, you go and take off your life.
No, so while I agree that we should use these institutions, to pass the message across, to educate people, when such an incident occurs, somebody must take leadership in that particular instance. I'll give you an instance. When there is petrol scarcity, we see that a lot of Nigerians want to get ahead in the filling stations. One person has formed, people have formed one queue. Another person will just come and form another queue. Before you know what's happening, you can see like 5 queues, all of them trying to head into the filling station.
Yes.
But if there is leadership somewhere that says, no, there's only going to be one queue entering this filling station and everybody will have to be orderly, you will find that people will, maintain that particular one queue. So where do you think that leadership needs to have been shown when such an incident occurs?
You see, for instance, this particular incident might happen where the location might be very difficult for the police or any government agency to reach out.
Exactly. But there will be leaders within the community.
Yeah, there must be maybe the district head or the village head or the church or the mosque leaders who are supposed to take charge of this. But like you said, it happened in the night. And they just woke up and found this. And the tanker driver and the conductors found themselves in the accident. So you see, they don't have control. Who know whether they are alive by then? Who know how hot, the accident might be? Yeah. So these people just came from nowhere. And you can find out that in terms of a village where this thing happened, maybe the father of the house is the leader who will first take his tank, his bucket, and maybe ask the wife to take her own and the children. So, and if there is no any government officials or police, station close to that place, it's very difficult to control these people.
Have we left everything, do you think, to perhaps political leadership? Or is it that political leadership rubs off on the people so badly that everybody just throw their hands in the air and find how to help themselves, whichever way possible, because of what they see? You think that's a major factor in how things have gone this so south?
Well, like I said, politics or no politics, orientation is the most important thing in this case. Politicians might be looking for their own benefits, and they might not, look at this type of situations.
That's what the disconnect is. That's the problem. They are there for the people, not to benefit themselves primarily. Isn't that where we have a huge challenge? Because they're supposed to be servants and not just go there as lords.
Chamberlain, don't forget, in every community, there's a representative in politics. And it cuts down to the level, to local government, to wards, and so on and so forth. So even if there's a responsibility, maybe the politicians that are directly in charge are supposed to, take charge of this, not to look up. The ones at top on top are in the National Assembly, but there are politicians in the village, maybe from the local government to the ward level. So if they are working hand in hand with the security organizations of that locality, something can be done. That I agree with you.
So moving forward now, because we could have a scenario like this again tomorrow. What will your concerns be? Do you think that, I know we keep asking, why are we not learning the right lessons? All of these things. Why do you think that's the case? We don't seem to be learning from these things.
To be sincere, the fact remains one. If you see people finding themselves in this situation, it's all about survival. They cannot take that risk just like that if they are not hungry. So the most important thing is to sensitize them to understand the difference between survival and life. Risk can take your life. If you don't have life, how will you survive?
All right. Honorable Jerry Damara is the chairman and CEO of Mesotho Group, also policy analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much, Abana.
Well, yes, we'll go ahead and have business morning on the hour, so just stay on with us. We will be back afterwards.